People deluded. Now, Xavier Amaechi, or what I refer to him as Xavier Amaechi, is a player I've got a lot of time for at Arsenal. He's a wide player. He can play on the left. He can play on the right. He's a very good player in my opinion, and he's probably the well. I wouldn't say he's the next because I don't know what Unai Emery's thoughts are, but definitely if I was Unai Emery and I was looking at these young players, especially when you consider the lack of options in our side, Amici would be someone I'd be looking to bring in regards to possibly, obviously, the ultimate goal for every young player is to step up into the first team, but possibly to make his debut. I like that young Saka's made his debut. He's been so good, you can't really ignore the young 17-year-old, and he's made his Premier League debut. Obviously, played games in Europa League and them things there. You've obviously seen Emil, he's injured at the moment, but he's made some progress as well. Nelson's gone out on loan, but he seems to be in our thoughts. And obviously, a couple years older than them, but Iwobi and Maitland now. So it's nice to see homegrown players that specific to my club coming through. I love it. I would love to, it's wishful thinking, but I'd love it to be a case of 10 players coming through our academy and going to first team level. But we know for several reasons it's tough. It's very tough. I do believe, honestly, there's 5, 6, possibly 7 of these young players that can have the ability and the potential to make it at Arsenal and if not have good careers. Like off the top of my head, obviously Amici's just been said. Tyrese John Jules, I think Balogun can have a career. Vontae Daly Campbell, especially being a defensive prospect at Arsenal, I can't believe anyone's not really speaking about it. Who else is there? You've obviously got Saka, you've got Monsa, you've got young Malcolm below them. You've got, and I've missed out several. There's several talents at this club. Some are Charlie Gilmore, who I think is going to have a good career as well. There's some good players out there. Now, Amici's a good player. Now, if you was watching, sadly he got injured, but if you watch the 6-5 defeat at under 23 levels at the beginning of the season, he scored and got an assist. So sure, at under 23 level, he played good against Spurs, and it seemed to be going well this season for him. He had a good season last year for the under 18s, especially in the FA Youth Cup. If I remember, Blackpool, Middlesbrough, obviously the defeat to Chelsea, probably the standout games for me personally. He obviously went off last summer with England's under-17s, and he was in the team in the tournament, and he had a good tournament, as did young Saka, and actually Vontae Daly Campbell. Trey Coyle was there as well, but he didn't really feature as much. So he's a player I love, man. I've got a lot of time for him. For me, his decision making, he's still a young man. He's 17, turning 18 in a couple of days in January. His decision making can improve and it needs to go to the next level, but I think he's got it in him. He's very positive. He'll take his man on. He's skillful. He can get his head up. He just needs to refine a couple more things and then he's there, man. And it's sad because he built on a good season last year and he looked to be doing the same thing, and then sadly he got a 3-month or so injury layoff. I think he injured his metatarsal and he's just returned to full fitness, and it's nice to see. But he's more or less starting from zero again, and this is just sadly one of the many setbacks young professional footballers will have to deal with. But I think he's got a lot of potential. If I had to bet my life on certain players making it, I'd say Xavi would be one, Emil Smith Rowe would be one, and Saka would be one. Of course, Nelson. They're the 4 I'm looking at. That I do believe. Like I said, there's several players with genuine potential, and it's testament to us at under 23 levels down to under 16s that something's in the water at Hayland, and we're doing well. Shout out to Chelsea for giving us some of their young players as well, who are doing quite well for us. But I like him, and I think the potential is scary. And I think considering the first team level, I'm not saying he's ready to throw him into first team and expect results immediately, because I don't think so. But I do think if I was Unai Emery and I'm looking at players that you've already given debuts to, and I'm looking at young players that are probably deserving of that very soon, Amici's someone that would be in my thoughts. Now the job for Amici obviously is to get back to full fitness because he's been out for a while, and to bang under 23 levels in the same way that Emil was doing it, Nelson was doing it to a degree, and even Iwobi at reserve level had that good standout season as he was getting a look in with Arsene Wenger. I remember he got a hat-trick against Stoke. Maitland-Niles was probably too good at that level to ignore, and you're obviously seeing Saka as just from a school kid as a 16-year-old playing for our under 18s and now predominantly right wing or so for our under 23. So Amici needs to bang it to the level of that, make himself a permanent fixture within the under 23s, and maybe that will follow. But he's someone I've got a lot of time for, man. I think he's got a lot of quality. Now potential is just potential. It's sad, but many young players at Arsenal and abroad some will reach potential, some won't. Some will get injuries which they can't control, some won't make it because of whatever they've done. Obviously, the manager as well has to give chances, but at the same time, it's impossible to give 5 or 6, 7 people instant chances, because as much as fans, myself included, advocate and push for their young players that they hear getting a lot of hype to play, they don't understand youth development, because they're more time. These fans are the same people that will throw these players in, and when they're not doing well, calling them overrated and stuff. They're still developing. Football fans have no patience. Um, like I said, many people would want to see a whole host of academy names, but would they be prepared to be patient and give these young players 10 games or so, in which some games they'll be playing 0.5 out of 10, sometimes they'll be playing 55 out of 10. They're still trying to get consistency. The best example will be Reece Nelson. People are expecting instant results from him last season, and what were they? Some people saying he was overrated because he didn't have the best of games against United. I think he was a bit so-so against Watford. He's still developing. Obviously, he's doing very well for himself at Hoffenheim, depending on how you look at it, because he's having a good loan spell. But it's not the mad loan spell people are talking about when you look beyond his goals and stuff like that. Ultimately, he's developing. That's all we need. But people are probably expecting him to leave as this young teenager, rough around several edges, and come back as someone in his prime, ready to stand up to be counted. He will come back a strong player, but he's still developing. He's still trying to add consistency in his game. How many times have you seen him complete 90 minutes or subbed? That shows you what he's trying to get at and what he needs to do. This ain't a criticism of Reece Nelson. I think he's a bad boy, and I would love for him to start week in, week out, like I tweeted. But many people don't understand youth football, or what goes into it. But back to Saka, I mean not Saka, Amaechi. I think he's one of the next up. Like for me, anyways, I hope he makes his debut. In the same way, I hope Tyrese John Jules makes his debut. To be honest with you, I know he's been on the bench at first team level. I do honestly believe if sadly if Amaechi never got that mad injury, he would have been involved in Europa League at some capacity. I'm not sure if he would have made his debut, but he's definitely one with a bag of potential, man. And he's left-footed as well. At least if he's not left-footed, then the man is both-footed, guy. He looks very good in my opinion. The next step for me is probably in the final third. Probably just get his head up a bit more and just make the right decision consistently. But that's the hardest thing. The hardest thing to do is play simple football, to play the right pass at the right time consistently. But he's got potential, man. He can get you off your feet, and he is very quick. I was a right back and a left back. I wouldn't want to play against him, because I'm not gonna lie, I'll just have to end up kicking him up, because he's on this nutmeg stuff and all these things, and his link up play is very good. The main thing I like about him is he's positive. He doesn't seem phased by anything, and to play for any club or any Premier League club or any professional football, you need to take that. Like I said, he's been set back by injuries of sorts. So for now, anyways, with the next couple months, it's just about getting full fitness and things like that, and taking it from there and going again. To be honest, man, and it's sad because you saw Trey Coyle last season after having a good season the season before as a schoolboy, unofficially playing for under 18s. He obviously got set back by injury, and now he's playing catch up, and he's actually doing quite well at under 23 level, playing as a 10 and them things there. He's doing quite well. So he's probably had to be frustrated because his development's been set back. But these young men are going to have to learn this. It's frustrating. Amaechi's someone I'll be looking at. Again, I hope he makes his debut this season. But it's probably not on the agenda in the sense that I just want him to focus on his full fitness and getting back to playing football. But if he gets that, if he bangs on the 23 level and he does what I believe he can do, then Unai Emery can't ignore him in the same way he hasn't ignored the others, to be fair with you. Like I really believe in this guy's potential, man, and especially when you consider that Arsenal, if we're meant to be broke and under financial issues and stuff, we need to guarantee almost that some of these players can come through. Again, it's wishful thinking to think 5, 6 or 7, regardless of potential, will develop at this club. But we can hope, innit? Look at Iwobi's group. Now, no disrespect to Iwobi, because I believed he was going to have a good career, but no one was saying he was going to make it at Arsenal necessarily. I wouldn't say he's proved people wrong, but he surprised people. But if you look at him, no disrespect, but no one was talking about Iwobi, but if you look at that, he's had the last laugh, because around that age, you had what? Maitland Niles around the same age too, but what did you have? You had Gnabry for sure, you had Akpom, everyone was definitely raving about Akpom Bear. You had Zelalem, if I haven't said that. You obviously had Crowley, you had Willock, you had Gnabry, you had John Torrell, whether you rated him or not. There were several other prospects. Young Bellerin was there to a degree as well, so there was other people being spoken about. And for all them names I've mentioned, for one reason or not, how many have made it at this club? Again, we know what's going on with this club and the financial issues and stuff, but again, we've had Jeff, Rene Adelaide, we've had Jeff, we've had Marlon, who's doing well for himself, we had Benassia, you had several examples, Vlad Dragomir, Josh Da Silva, bare names, and bare of them have left the club, and for every one person that makes it or one person that gets a chance, several fall by the wayside or don't make it or have to depart the club to get chances. It's an impossible job almost bringing through an academy player. So as much as you might banter Chelsea and these sides there, just to bring through one is actually an achievement. Because you could sit down, especially as a top six, yeah, you could sit down as a member of the top six and say we're going to develop our own. Where we have a target of getting one person every season into our academy. We want to bring through 5 and 6. Um, Similar to what you've seen with Busby Babes to a degree, and probably for those old enough, them and obviously Ferguson. But would people be prepared to wait? Now Arsenal, I think we need to do that because we haven't got money to spend for mad guys and stuff, and we look like we're a fifth, sixth club at the moment in time. Champions League's off the agenda, so we could probably give young players and blood them in and things like that. But would most fans, considering where we are currently, would they want to see 5, 6, 7 academy kids? Because long term it might pay off, but immediately we'd be less competitive. So you would see more. You would see the other clubs going up there, and you would see us kind of either that or slightly temporarily below. Most fans will get frustrated and will lose patience very quick. Um, Football brings out many emotions in people, and it brings out the illogicalness in a lot of us football fans and the lack of patience in several things. But I'm going left and right with this, man. All I got to say is Amaechi's been showing from a young age that he's on drills. I mean, a lot of 15-year-olds have played under 18s football. I remember J. Emmanuel Thomas, but he's done that as well as a 15-year-old. Obviously, he got a firm, solid education as a 12 up until the ages of 12, I believe, at Fulham, and then he came here. And some people have described him as a young Reece Nelson in the same way Balogun's a young Eddie Nketiah, but it's down to you to do that. I believe, I wouldn't say it's disrespectful, but he's a man. He's his old man. He's his man in his own right, and you can see similarities between him and Nelson, but no two men are alike in football, and no two people in life are the same. So he's going about it the right way, man. If he just probably adds a bit more goals and a couple more assists to his game and takes his game up to a better standard, which he looked to be doing until the injury, can't be long before he makes his debut, man. And he's definitely, if we're not trying to bring in a wing or if we're trying to save money and do all of these things, he's someone I want to bring in. I rate him very highly, to be fair. And whether he makes it here or not, I think he's going to have a career. You guys know I'm never going to sit here and say XYZ can be a World Cup winner, Ballon d'Or winner, this and that. I'm not here for that. If you want to see mad clickbait and these things, you need to click on other channels. But for me, I think he's going to have a good future, a very good future in the game. At what level is down to him and down to God, then hopefully he stays clear of injuries or any further injuries and he's allowed to develop to his full potential, because I like him a lot, man. And you guys know whether they make it at Arsenal or not, I like to see these players go and have careers in the professional game, because many people forget, many of the people you see at under 18s level and these things, some of them sadly will drop out of the game, and some of them have been in academies or whatnot since the ages of 6, and football's almost everything they know. I know this because I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen people that have played for Liverpool, Reading, all of these sides, do well in FA Youth Cups, actually have interest from other clubs, and now they're personal trainers. Not that that's a bad role, but you get the point. They're no longer in football, or they're aimlessly at the gym, consistently trialing at clubs. I've told you about it. Football's real. Football is a very real sport, man, and yeah, man, especially for these inner city London kids. I mean, he's not a bad kid, of course, but obviously football provides a way out. I mean, you look at Lookman as well. I swear he's from Peckham and South, and that, or Jadon Sancho from Kenton. Now, you can leave certain environments and see certain walks of life. Like what? Maitland Niles is from Ilford. If he wasn't a footballer, I assume he'd be at uni or college or have a regular job. Would he necessarily be seeing China, Australia? Same for Iwobi and all of these man there, man. Like the amount of what life can bring you from just being a professional footballer is what I want to see happen to them, man. Seeing the four corners of the world, not doing things you could be caught up in if you weren't a professional footballer, or certain, there's no way around it, whether it's directly or indirectly, there's certain influences, and just ultimately to live their dreams, man. That's what I like to see. But I'm going left and right and all sorts of directions with this. In short, Amaechi's someone I've got a lot of time for, and he's someone surely, if not this season, next season gets a chance at some capacity, whether it's in the Europa League, League Cup, whatever in it. But for now anyways, I've done enough, people, so I'm going to get out of your hair. People, stay safe, deluded.